Welcome back to The Big Show. It's Alex Belfield talking to my favourite people, and everybody knows I love Beverley Callard. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good indeed, thank you. Very good. How are you?
I'm tremendous. And what I love about you is, of course, Coronation Street, where we see you week in and week out, and you look glamorous and you look gorgeous, and you always have that star-shaped necklace on. Do they ever give you anything other than that star-shaped necklace?
Oh, gosh. Liz has had that for about 15 years, and it's been repaired 3 times. But it's sort of Liz's, that's the Liz necklace. And I get, you would not believe it, Alex, I get so many letters of people saying, where did you get it from? And I've no idea where they got it from, it's so old.
My favourite thing was when you got married, and I nearly fell off my chair when they said, do you, Elizabeth Jane McDonald, take...
I know, it's scary, isn't it?
I'd love Coronation Street for that, though, because it will play with names and things that are happening, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, does it?
Well, do you know what? In the very beginning, Liz was called, this is sort of in the first couple of months, 21 years ago, she was called Elizabeth Teresa McDonald.
Right.
And then they suddenly realised that Bet Lynch was called Elizabeth Teresa Lynch. So they changed it. So it was suddenly, instead of Elizabeth Teresa, it was Elizabeth Jane.
But somebody must have been watching Loose Women to see the Lady Jane McDonald to think that that was funny. There's got to be a double gag in there, hasn't there?
No, it came way before that.
Really?
Yeah, way before that. So I think she must have copied me.
Oh, well, there you go then. That'll be what it is. And the irony, of course, about you being Jane McDonald on the TV is that you're now sat in her chair on Loose Women. How's that going?
I know, it's spooky, isn't it? Well, to be honest, they'd asked me to be a guest on it for years, and even though I loved watching it, I always said no because I was so scared I'd give too much of myself away, because I used to be such a private person. But then sort of, it's irony, I suppose, and maybe fate. A couple of years ago, I won't bore you with it, but I was ill in February of last year of 2009, and afterwards I sort of talked about it. I did my life story, if you like, and to be honest, everything's out in the open, and I just thought, oh well, I've done it now, it's all there. And then they asked me to do Loose Women, and it was about 3 or 4 months ago now, the first time I did it. Oh, Alex, I was absolutely terrified.
Oh, yeah.
I was so scared of saying a swear word.
Yeah.
And you think, oh God, I've got to be so careful what I say. Now I don't care, I just love it.
They do lure you into a false sense of security with that show, because you feel like it's just you and the girls nattering, and you forget that there's 3 million people watching.
You do, you feel as though it's just the 4 of you who are taking part that day, and the audience. And even though the audience are very close to you, they just feel as though, well, when you're on there, you just feel as though they're part of it, because as soon as the interval comes on, we chat to the audience and tell them jokes, and we do all this, and they ask us questions, and we just have a chat, and the audience is mainly women anyway, and we all just have a chat together, and so it's so easy to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. I've just come back. I came back on the train in the snow last night from doing it yesterday.
Are there certain casts that you enjoy more than others? If you see Carol sat next to you, for example, does that always lift the show?
I love her. To be honest, we've not been on the panel that much together, but it's great because on certain subjects we think alike, and on other subjects we're complete opposites. So it's fantastic, and we're both very outspoken. So you just go for it and you say what you really feel, you know.
And what about the stars that come on the show when they know who you are? Does that ever become normal?
It's amazing, and they all go, oh, thank you so much for being so kind to us. And it's for me, it's really strange, because as an actor, normally you get handed your pages of script or your play, and you just memorise it and do your best to turn those pages into a different person. But being Beverley, at first it was quite scary, but now when the guests come on, you're so aware that they're quite nervous, because there's these 4, whichever 4 it is. I think there's a team of quite a lot of Loose Women. You know, it's never it's very rarely the same panel 2 days running. But you know, they're quite formidable women and they're very strong and feisty. But all the guests love it. They really enjoy it.
Have you had one of those Colleen Nolan moments that she always tells me about when she comes off air and there's 17,000 texts waiting for her?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. The day before yesterday, we had quite a deep discussion as to whether women should be on the front line in the services. And that was quite heavy going. Everyone disagreed with me. But you've just got to say what you believe. I think if you were insincere on it or being a bit phony, it would show.
Yep.
You've just got to be you.
I think it's like a radio show, because the fakes will be sussed within a heartbeat, because you're talking too much, too often, too regularly to keep up with your own story. If you start lying, I think they'd catch you out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take a piece of music and then we're going to come back with Beverley Callard. She's got a DVD, a book, The Loose Women, anything else I can plug for you, we'll get to it next on your favourite local radio station. We're back on The Big Show. It's Alex Belfield talking to Beverley Callard. Of course, her new book's now out in paperback and her DVD's coming out soon. I'll tell you about that in a bit. The years that we have to talk about, of course, are the Coronation Street years, because that's when everybody fell in love with you and still do. Although, I don't see you on much now. Have you gone, or are you still there?
No, I took a vacation, sort of extended vacation, because I got married 4 weeks ago. So in real life, not Liz,
Yes.
as Beverley. And so I took some sort of all the time that was owed to me, I took in one great big chunk. But I have actually handed my notice in the summer, and massive decision. I've done it once before. I did 10 years and then I left because I wanted to go back on stage again. And then I've just done it again. I've been in it 21 years, 21 and a half years.
Wow.
And I'm going to go back on stage again next year, but I'm going to keep on working, but maybe not to quite the relentless schedule. But I've still got a massive exit to film. They were really kind to me and they understood, and they don't want to lose Liz forever. And so I said, do you think you'll put Liz under the tram and kill her? And they said, no, we're not going to do that. We want Liz to come back again. So I'm not saying I'll never play her again, because I do love playing her, but there's just other parts I'd quite like to play before I get too old.
It's very difficult. I see the dilemma you have. I mean, you've become an icon of the show, and frankly, we need more like you, more characters. I say it out loud all the time that Norris is always my favourite. I just think the characters are always brilliant. You're one of them. You're the people we remember. Equally, though, it becomes a bit like Groundhog Day, doesn't it? Turning up at that Granada and having to churn it out, and it's a proper job. It's not showbiz.
Absolutely. It's really not showbiz. It's a wonderful job, and I thank God every day I get paid for something that I love doing, because I know many people don't, and I do appreciate it, and I'm very grateful. But to be an actor, you do want to play other parts as well. And as I say, I'm not saying I'll never play Liz again. And The Exit is amazing. It goes on for quite a long time. I go back in the new year, and it's really fantastic. Lots of comedy, but lots of high drama as well. But the schedule at Coronation Street and EastEnders the same is relentless. We are there, certainly at the moment, it's been 6 days a week, 15-hour days. And when you set your alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning, you do think,
yeah.
I actually can't find my eyes to paint all that hideous eye makeup on, never mind anything else.
Also, is it kind of frustrating that you're one of the biggest stars in the country at that point while you're on the soap and you're earning good money, but you haven't any time to spend it or enjoy it because you've got to keep filming to keep the stardom that you've got?
Literally, when you're in a big storyline, you have no life whatsoever. The street has to take over everything. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons. You know, John and I have been together 8 years, and he proposed to me in May. and he said, you know, we need some time for us. And so that was one of the biggest factors, because of course you finish work and you could have, you know, another 30 pages to memorise for the next morning. And so it will be nice to actually learn a script and finish learning it and then just go on stage knowing you know it, you know, rather. But as I say, I love both. I love everything.